What's up, everybody? Taco Tuesday here at the big show. Fired out of a cannon as always. As if you know if it was April, August, September. Just pull the Rolodex, man. We are always bringing the smoke. Fastest show in MLB. Absolutely anywhere here. Call to the Pen HQ. Redheaded stepchild of the Hammer Betting Network. Another big thank you. Grazie. To our friend Rob Zola, the pizza man, bringing you the large round. That's me at John Laghezza on the Bird app, formerly known as X or something like that. Right now, I am just a legit fount of information. The baseball football overlap is going on, but it has not stopped the funk when it comes to the national pastime. All the data, beautiful stuff we're bringing is 100% free right now. Yay! Check it out. Get the Google Doc. Bring it up. You can follow along in real time. The pitching data, bullpen data, team stat data, implied totals, algo results. Like, I mean, come on. It's a lot. Thank you very much for jumping on board with us. Brian E., Brian Rose, Jeff L. 300, baby. Rich Clark and BGC bringing up the rear, my boy. Where we give the books nothing, but we take from them everything. I mean, we are the books' absolute worst nightmare. Right, and sometimes that's not always reflected in PL, but the sharpness of the crowd, right? People kind of getting better at this as we go, right? That's the books will easily eat a loss if they know you're going to come back and do something stupid tomorrow. You know, FanDuel got cracked on that field goal parlay team thing, but they turn it into PR. You know, what they don't want is people realizing that those bets are really stupid, right? And it hit, and like it's not going to hit again. All right. Let's do it. Nuance and context pouring out the nose when you roll with us. Rate, review, and subscribe because that ish matters way more than it should. Like, way more than it should. It shouldn't really matter at all. I mean, I guess, whatever. What are cartoon fingers worth nowadays? I mean, again, more than they should be. Let's dive into it full slate. I don't even know how we do this. What kind of crazy person would take on, 15 games every single day. OPMG, what's up, bro? We see you, Capo, in the house. Here at the restaurant where the chefs eat, sharpest crew on the web. Absolutely, I'll take that one to the bank. Put my money on that one. Let's go get it. It's the Halos, Patrick Sandoval on the bump, plus 180 dog against Taj Mahal. Bradley, minus 205. Favorites for the Rays. You know, it's funny, the books may be starting to listen to the show. Bradley, the surface stats, out of whack, 5.5 ERA, 1.4 whip. Well, the indicator is pretty strong, though. 3.7 Sierra, 3.7 XFIP, 29 K to 9 walk. 9 walk's not great, but anytime you're over that 20 K minus BB, you're doing something right. Lots of fly balls, lots of barrels for Bradley. That's where he's gotten in trouble. Other side, Sandoval, his indicators up near 5, double-digit walk rate as always, not getting ahead as always. But he does keep the ball down and keep the ball in the yard. I've gone after him and gotten stung a couple times. Sandoval, 7 ERA last 40 days, 5.5 Sierra or worse. Bradley, all his indicators at, let's call it 4 3/4. I like Tampa, but I don't think I could get with the juice on this one. Other part of that formula, of course, is the offense, LA offense in the tank right now. 205 batting average, 627 OPS, dead last expected WOBA versus righties last 30. Other side, Tampa Bay starting to get it going, 108 WRC plus, just a bit better than average, but everything's kind of mad. The disciplinary stuff is mad, too many ground balls, but they are starting to hit the ball hard. Another one of those kind of indicators, especially for the Rays, right? When they're like lifting at all and barreling at all, that's when you get with them. 10% barrel as a team last 500 PAs for the Rays. So I couldn't get with the money line. I did end up betting on the run line because then you get into the bullpen. It's a huge mismatch here. So, Jay, let's go with the Rays run line. It's got to be even money, minus 105 probably at worst. Halos, nearly 5 Sierra, 1.5 whip last 52 innings from the pen. Rays, 0.6 ERA, yes. 0.6 ERA, 0.73 whip last 45 innings, 1/5 of a homer per 9. So that'll do it. That's enough for me. Rays, an order of magnitude better than the Angels. Again, we talked about it yesterday. Trying to aim for competition as well. Although, stupid me, I thought something. The Brewers, right? They didn't score a run. And I didn't want to play the White Sox because they weren't playing for much. And that was like the easy smash. So, what can, what can you do? Again, right, I mentioned it and then have to take my L's also. when I mentioned the downside to trying to be conservative as far as ticket size. Right, again, I'm not going to push up against volume betting working in baseball. I'm not going to do that. Matt would get really upset at us. But you can't put together 3-piece tickets, right? A little 3-piece meal. And what do you open yourself up to? 1-1 going into the third, a bad beat, you're a loser, right? That's kind of like the simple end of how short tickets get you in trouble. All right, next up, it's a Twinkies. Kenta Maeda on the bump, minus 135. We stepped right in that rake with Joe Ryan yesterday. But man, 135. Kenta Maeda versus Fernando Cruz, opening it up for the Reds. And then I think maybe you're going to get a follow from Ben Lively, maybe. Yeah, I mean, that was the best that I got. Maeda's been really good, 4.5 ERA, 1.22 whip. However, not buying it. Right, the indicators all below 4. Expected ERA and Sierra both at 3.9. That's kind of where I see him. True skills, let's call it. 26K to 6 walk, again, a 20% KBB. 12.5 swing and strike, 29 CSW, 35% ball, 34 O swing, 85 Z contact, right? So I know it's a lot to throw at you sometimes, but the control is there, inducing whiffs, inducing chases, winning in the zone. I mean, there's a lot to like about Maeda. He's always kind of been that too many fly ball guy, but he's limited the barrel, so he's kept the home runs in check. They're right around average. Shade on the 1.5. 300 xWOBA is the number that I like. He's also been very, very good on the road. 218 batting average allowed, 3.3 ERA on the season, 105 stuff plus in the Saris model. I mean, Cincinnati scored yesterday. They're going to do it again. They're really bad. 290 expected WOBA versus righties last 30. They have corrected the disciplinary stuff, and I know we normally identify that as a leading indicator. So I think we want to be looking at the Reds as maybe not a dumpster fire, but they haven't been really good either. Too many ground balls, not enough pulled balls. The Twinkies, as always, what kills them? It's the Ks. We got a bit of that yesterday as well. They get guys on and they strike out. But I do think they're going to get it. I do think they'll get this one. Minnesota also 3 ERA last 44 innings, sub 1 whip. Cincinnati 2.6 ERA, but the Sierra is at 4.5. But the whip is at 1. The batting average below 190. Man, I do like the Twins. Maybe got a pair. I don't know. 135. I think we got to go back to the well, Jay. You know what I mean? I think we go back to the well. Providing it hasn't gone past that minus 150 barrier, I think we can get the Twins money line. So if it's at 130, minus 135 or better, lock it in. I'm going to move on forward. We got a lot to do. Next up, crime boss Joey Lucchesi on the bump for the Let's Go Mets Go plus 140 dog on the road against Braxton Garrett and the Miami Marlins minus 155 on the home side. 283 ERA, 125 whip from Lucchesi. But big like shaking butt. Birdman. 5.3K walk ERA, 5.7 expected, 5.12 Sierra. Right, whenever we get, again, the agreement between Sierra and expected ERA is a pretty damn good indicator that's where the future will lie. 17K to 9 walk, really unimpressive, but the 39% ball rate for Lucchesi is way too high. He does keep the ball on the ground. That's been his savings grace. And he's gotten bailed out as far as home run to fly ball rate. You know, part of that is in the pitcher's control, but double-digit barrel to a 1 homer 9 is not really what you'd expect. 358 expected WOBA. Again, more in line with the expected stats, more in line with the Sierra. I think the regression monster coming for Lucchesi up against Braxton Garrett, 367 ERA, 115 whip. I was a big Garrett guy coming into the season. 24K to only 4 walks of the control, which we love. The 30 CSW, right, cold strikes plus whiffs for the new people. Check mark there. 67 first strike, 34 O swing. There's your bully metric. And first strike to chase rate, if it's over 100, he's a bully, right? He gets up, he gets ahead, and makes you chase his junk. Garrett's still inducing chases. I mean, he's been good. Struggling a bit at home, but when you regress the home runs on XFIP, it's really more of a 3.7, which again is not bad. 2.2 ERA last 40 days, but the indicators on that end really not as good. Let's look at the offense. Here's the problem and why I didn't get with Miami, though I do think Miami wins. The Mets are starting to get it going a little bit. They're starting to lift again. They've cut the strikeouts. Pulling the ball, barreling the ball, 326 team WOBA. They've also hit lefties okay, but the expected WOBA not really backing it up. Miami, they just have been bad. They added all these pieces. And it's just not been great. Even the things we think of being kind of the calling card for the Marlins, not really there right now. Sub 8 walk, 11.5 swing and strike, 85 zone contact as a team, last 500 plate appearances. So the disciplinary stuff, what we expect for the Marlins, kind of high contact, they're going to get on, maybe doubles, and then steals turning into runs. We haven't seen that. The hard hit rates are there, but the ball's on the ground way too much. 47.5 ground ball for the Marlins. Again, I'm kind of a chicken ass right now. Maybe we should like pair them, Jay. Right? And like that's kind of been my answer lately, heading down the stretch. When you get to a couple scratches on your chin, maybe you don't want to lay out for the juice. You kind of pair them at a lower risk. Right? So like maybe you go Miami plus Minnesota. We're trying to get back on the horse for both of them. They both lost yesterday. I fully expect them both to bounce back. So we could go with that. That'll get us a nice spot too. You can kind of dial down the rest to 1 or 2, Jay. And we'll go Minnesota plus Miami. Welcome to Miami. Next up. Oh, this should have been like the marquee matchup. Yeah, daddy. Blue Jays and Yankees. Yeah, late September. Yeah. What it's all about, baby. No. Oh, you say Kikuchi. I say the Blue Jays fixed this guy and he looks like a legitimate starter. I mean, good for you, hat tip. 3.8 ERA, 1.25 whip for Kikuchi, sub 4 Sierra. And then really the things that matter. 25K to only 7 walk. I mean, 7% walk rate for Kikuchi is a big deal. Yes, the home run rate is still at 1.5. But the miss rate converted into batted ball quality has improved also. 38 fly ball and 8.5 barrel for Kikuchi is a pretty large improvement. So you got to like what you're seeing from him. 4.8 ERA last 40 days, but the indicator's all at like 3.5. Kikuchi's been really good. 106 stuff plus, 102 pitching plus on the Saris models. Okay, Kikuchi's been good. Clark, Barr, Holy Schmidt pitching for the Yankees, minus 105. I mean, this one, I don't want to, I hate to back the Yankees because they're so bad. Damani asks what's going on. Top of the morning to you. Arr. So the Clark bar has been pretty good as of late. 4.5 ERA, 1.35 on the season. I know 5.8 ERA last 40 days, but the indicators are all at 4 or below. He's kind of corrected those problems, at least somewhat, against lefties. Now we're seeing a lot of the season stats starting to get dragged into viability. The control has been good. The walk rate on the year for Schmidt down to 6.5, 34% ball, 65 first strike, 44 ground ball, 31 hard hit, right? So doing a lot of things we like. Getting your strikeouts, not walking anybody, getting ahead, keeping it down, keeping it in the yard. I know we use a lot of numbers, but that's why when you roll with us and go check the sheet, man. It's free. You know what I'm saying? I understand. People don't necessarily want to pay for stuff. I try and keep it cheap as can be. But right now, if it's free, it's for me. And I think I'm very good at it. Segmenting stats, compartmentalizing them, and trying to make them really organized. So you end up kind of reading the template, and after a while, it's just human nature. You kind of muscle. Your brain's a muscle, right? You're training it to think in a certain way, but you begin to think surface stats, ERA, whip, OPS. Do the indicators validate it? Then you go to discipline, walks and strikeouts, swing and miss, in zone, chase rates. Then you go to elevation. Does it keep it down? Is it in the air? And then you get the batted ball quality. We should only be there if the other things bring you to that point, and then splits. And really, again, forming that template will just get that muscle right. Where you not allowing any one split or any one stat to kind of tip the scale. You're always thinking of these pitchers in terms of like a tapestry. Because remember, there are pitchers that get by on limited contact. There are pitchers that get by just on control. There are pitchers that get by to get on needing all the swing and miss stuff. Again, a guy like Snell is a perfect example. Sorry, he's going to win the... oh my God, I'm ruining this. Sorry. He's going to win the Cy Young with 1 million walks because he knows, I'll walk you. And I'm going to strike the next guy out. So you remember, different approaches, different strokes, different folks, all the nuance and the context you get when you roll with us. So Kikuchi and Schmidt should be a really good one. Again, unfortunately, this game is kind of meaningless. Toronto offense has gone in the tank again. So frustrating. 210 batting average, last 500 PAs, 650 OPS, a 26% hard hit rate, 6% barrel. That's a 79 WRC plus. Yankees not doing any better. 204 batting average, 641 OPS. The thing you want to look at here, the reason why you got to be careful with the juice, I shouldn't even say it's slight juice, but even backing the Blue Jays, the only thing the Yankees have done well is hit lefties. I mean, they have really hit lefties. It's such a stark difference in splits. It's really abnormal. 347 team WOBA for the Yanks against lefties last 30. Backed up, validated right with a 333 expected. You always want to make sure that the underpinnings are there. You flip side, the red 290 against righties so bad. So bad. Yankees taking the walks 13% of the time. They've lifted, they've pulled. Again, I know I was singing the praise of Kikuchi, but you do got to keep an eye on how that matrix is probably not the best for him. I think you got to like Schmidt and the Yankees today, believe it or not. Feels so dirty back in the Yankees. They're really bad. And then when you look at the bullpens again, if you like the Blue Jays, right, you're not buying the BS I'm slinging, I would keep it to an F5. Toronto bullpen's been just awful. Nearly a 6 ERA, 38 innings. That's a 1.5 whip, 45 fly ball, nearly 40 hard hit. That's the kind of stuff that'll get you in trouble. So today, probably not the day to go with the man. I got Yankees on the algo. I got Yankees at 5. I got Yankees like all the way, May. Man, I'm like almost about to bet the Yankees against the Blue Jays, but no, I think I'm gonna save it. If you want, check me out later again. I'm not trying to show my own stuff, but I think I'm gonna put the parlay together. That's been my favorite way to get exposure to these games. Like we're already building it, right? You kind of get. Again, I like Minnesota. I like Miami. I go the Yankees. You know what I mean? I kind of get my exposure that way. I want to soft land this season. I'm sorry if they're the boomers out there, the strictly straight bettors. Again, I think these things are viable, so you can get a piece from them. But I want to be honest. I don't want to. The worst thing I think I can do is improperly frame my own procedure. Because I have the sub stuff, and then we're putting bets here, and it's very important to me that we're being extremely clear about application. So. That's that. Again, I think the Yankees get it done. Next up. All right, let's not bury the lead. I got to hurry up a bit. I'm on the over full game. White Sox, Jose Urena in Washington and Jackson Rutledge. This one could get ugly early. Jose Urena, it's malpractice. He's even out there. 8.5 ERA, 1.9 whip through 29 innings. That's an 1,100 OPS. Jackson Rutledge only has 3 2/3. He got cracked. He's a 17 ERA. Of course, listen, he's not going to be a 17 ERA pitcher, but anytime you're going to feed pitchers that have home run issues, like both of these guys, Urena 3.7 homer 9, Rutledge 2.5 homer 9. Washington is a really bad spot to pitch. Rutledge hasn't pitched at home yet. Urena terrible on the road, 300 batting average allowed, 1050 OPS, 8 ERA, 2.7 homer 9. I mean, I don't even know if you need the offensive stats for this one. Both of these teams are not very good, but it really shouldn't matter. The starting pitching is gross, and the bullpens are not far behind. Chicago has a nearly 5 ERA through 546 innings, not to be outdone by Washington with a 5 ERA through 550 innings. So it's pretty bad all the way across the board. Also weird, the White Sox offense, though they stink, and we're not going to get off that, they do have pieces that rock and roll. Like Luis Robert hit a home run yesterday. Eloy Jimenez hit a home run. I mean, these guys are good hitters. So again, I always want to make sure that we're adding nuance and context, especially when we're kind of, doing the tongue-in-cheek kind of dogpiling some of these teams. And again, some of them deserve our ridicule. The Rockies deserve to be made fun of. The White Sox deserve to be made fun of for rolling out Jose Urena. However, that does not make Luis Robert a bad hitter. Right, so let's be fair. When Vaughn is swinging it and Eloy is swinging it again, I think that's exactly what we're going to see. I think Rutledge is in trouble. I think Urena is in trouble. This one I saw, Jay, was it under 10? I'm just going to move on, but I guess I open up my big mouth. Even if it is 10 flat, if it's 10.5, I don't want it. But providing it's 10 or less, near that even money, we're going to just move it on up to the east side. Philadelphia Phillies and Christopher Dirty Sanchez on the road against Spencer Strider and the Bravos. This one is really a cross-off for me. Obviously, whenever you see Strider on the bump, you want to back him and the Braves. Whenever, you have a decent pitcher like Sanchez, you want to back him, but not against the Braves. So I don't think this one is worth the juice. And it's not just, Sanchez has been very good, right? That's number one. 3.4 ERA, 105 whip. The indicators all at 3.7 or below. 4% walk, 31 CSW, 67 first strike, doing a lot of things that we like to look for. He's been death to lefties and like excellent on the road. He's a 167 BA allowed, 129 ERA, 0.4 homer 9. That's Sanchez. Strider, we know he's awesome. On any given day, he's a pop like 15 strikeouts. But the Philadelphia offense has been really good. They're also top 2 against righties, WOBA, and expected last 30. Double-digit walk rate, top 3 hard hit rate, double-digit barrel rate. Atlanta, we know, is freaking awesome even without Acuna. So I'm going to just leave this one. The totals get all jammed up. The prices get all jammed up. There's going to be some sharp people out there somewhere betting on Dirty Sanchez. But again, even if he's good, it's very hard to model out the Braves get shut out. When you're facing Strider, it's hard to model him to give up, more than 2 or 3 through 5. So you're just kind of walking yourself into a position where there's really no need to go after it. Right now, the Braves bullpen has really struggled. 7.6 ERA, but the Sierra at 3.7. All the rest of the stuff has been trash. Too many home runs, just too many everything. Too many men on base, too many hard hit balls, too many fly balls. So I would say with this one, if you are one of the sharper cats out there doing the underdog thing, maybe the answer is like Philadelphia with the run line. Like if that was plus money, that's probably a pretty cool bet. Jay, just bring it up just out of my curiosity. Hook me up here. Full game run line Philadelphia getting the run. All right, I was hoping it had a plus in front of it. Doesn't. Everyone's at minus 115. And if you're wondering, this beautiful at BetStamp, Jay, clear your throat. Using it to shop around. My mama told me you got to shop around again. Like sometimes things sell themselves. I would say BetStamp being one of those things, right? Showing you all the different stores at all the different prices. All you got to do is press the lowest one. Their live links to Jay and tell them all about it this time.
For sure, John, I got you here. BetStamp, if you're trying to improve as a sports bettor, the easiest way to do so is to use an odds comparison tool like BetStamp. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book, including games, player props, and futures. Save time and money by downloading the app today. If you want to help support the show, you can do so by clicking the link on screen or in the description, betstamp.app/call to the pen. That page just takes you to a bunch of different sports books. And if you're looking to sign up for them, click through. And if you sign up, it helps support the show. So back to John.
All righty. Jay, I got to really hurry up. That was an excellent job as always. I'm just not pacing to finish on 40 minutes. Although, in my defense, it's a freaking impossible task. All right, let's go. It's the Guardians' Logan Allen. Weapon X on the bump, minus 165 dog on the road against Steven Cruz and the Royals with cheese. I liked Allen, but I don't know, it hasn't been great. He kind of walks too many guys, doesn't really have the swing and miss. He does get the ground balls, but also a lot of kind of hard hit stuff. Again, Allen's been good, but not great. Cruz is going to open. I'm not sure who's going after. I think it might be Alec Marsh. Really hard to back the Cleveland offense as well. The batting average is there. They're not striking out. But 47 ground ball, 25 hard hit, 5% barrel. The contact quality is just so poor. They are stealing bases. That's been the saving grace. Again, we've mentioned that. Different ways to skin a cat without scratching its arsehole. Who said that? That if you're not going to wallop, right? If you're not going to Hulk out, you got to get on, you got to steal. You have to. So the Guardians have been good at that. They're just not doing anything else. And they're not walking. It's a little out of character right now. This one's really gross. They're both out of it. KC offense, again, in the tank at spurts. They'll show you bits and pieces. But when they start striking out, a team that had shown us really good disciplinary stuff throughout the season, I'm just getting away from it. I guess this one's Cleveland. But again, I don't like to put... Excuse me, my nose itching. Something true is coming up. I don't like to pay juice for these non-competitive kind of trash teams. I know I mentioned it with the White Sox and I was wrong. The problem here is the Cleveland bullpen's been a disaster. Awful. Nearly 6 ERA last 38 innings, 1.6 whip, 2.84 batting average. So I think if you like the Guardians, you're either got to pair that one also, hoping that, the Royals just kind of fall apart. You don't blow it late, or keep it to F5. Again, there are always different ways to attack it. It's easy to kind of LOL the Royals and they stink and all that stuff. But if this one's close, the Guardian bullpen's been bad. The Cleveland offense is not good. When you get down to those crunch time, I know that's like the most caveman ooga analysis. Bullpen bad, offense good. Those are the things you want. Right? I'm doing the good offense and the bad offense. Do I have the good bullpen or the bad bullpen? That's what happens when you bet on, a pitcher. You're not so sure if you're totally back, right? A little bit of bad luck. This one's 2 through 5, and now you're into the pens, and you're like, oh my god, I paid minus 170 for this. So, just a little bit. Next up, it's Pirates and Cubs. This one was not listed. Jay, do you have it? The Pirate starter was not locked in. I had Bailey Falter kind of everywhere again. If you're unfamiliar with my work, I have to project starters sometimes. I have no choice but to do that. I try and use the MLB app, which is very, very accurate. Then RotoWire and Fangraphs and try and come up with combinations when they have TBDs or whatever. I had Bailey Falter. Jay, look like it was up or no? I'm sorry. I was too fast for you. All right, it is up, and it's another one. One is 165. It looks like you're getting Falter on the bump for the Pirates against Javier Assad. Again, I wouldn't touch this one. To me, this one isn't over or nothing. This is our bad chalk play of the day. So just don't pay the chalk for the Cubs. And people see the 3.10 ERA, 1.25 whip for Assad, but the expected ERA in Sierra at 4.8 or worse, double-digit walk rate, 40% ball rate, the stuff that we generally want to avoid. The ERA is low at home, but the indicators are not buying it. Nearly 1.5 ERA. I'm just not buying it. 92 stuff plus on the Saris model. He's kind of whack. Pittsburgh offense has really struggled, but the Cubs offense is no picnic either right now. The home runs have disappeared. The runs have disappeared because the double plays shooting to the roof, too many ground balls, not enough hard hit balls. There are your double plays. So again, do I think the Cubs will beat the Pirates? Yes, on any given day, I think the Cubs are going to beat the Pirates. But we also know baseball is like extremely variant, and these things go haywire on days like this when you don't like it. Because they're rolling out a guy with a ton of negative regression on deck. And we've also talked about this. When you want to play favorites, you really want to be secure in the pitching. You also want to cut it to F5s. Why? Because these guys give up runs. The Cubs are not hitting. So again, Falter is not really very good. He does have a really unique kind of shape on his fastball. I remember studying this. Like a unique release height or something like that. And it's been a known thing that his fastball is really weird. The control's been good. 5% walk, 33% ball. So even without the strikeouts, 40 ground ball, you can see how this guy could get there. So I'm just fading this one. Next up, it's the beer makers, Trevor McGill on the bump, minus 120 dog. He's open, minus 120 favorite, excuse me. He's opening for the Brewers, Trevor McGill, right? Ty Lure is on the Mets. Trevor McGill on the road against Drew, CD-ROM, and the Redbirds. This is another one I like. Could not care any less about this. I like to bet on the Brewers when it's Woodruff, when it's Burns, when it's Peralta, and they refuse to score for him like they did yesterday. Why would I like to bet him in those days? I don't know. I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. Yeah, who cares about McGill's been excellent, but you're only getting an inning. After that, it's kind of anybody's guess. Rom has been really rough. It's been a really rough go. 6 ERA, nearly 1.8 whip through 23 innings, 12% walk, 39% ball, 53 for a strike. Just all this kind of messy stuff. 12% barrel, 280 batting average allowed at home with a 5.8 xFIP. Gotta like the Brewers today, but the St. Louis offense has been getting up off the mat a touch. How do we know? They showed us the leading indicators. We know the Cardinals can hit. The disciplinary basket has started to improve in a major way, something we've been talking about for the past week. 19% K to double-digit walk, 10 swing and strike, 30 chase rate. So as a team, last 500 plate appearances, the Cardinals getting it done from a disciplinary standpoint. They're making you get into the zone. They're not chasing. They're not striking out. They're taking their walks, and then you're getting fly balls. With the Bauer rate, boom. Cardinals offense starting to get up off the mat is after they lost Gorman. Remember, they have pieces, right? Arenado and Goldschmidt, even Walker and these guys, they're not bad. It's really got to be careful dogpiling these teams, LOLing these teams that stink. I agree they stink, but the Cardinals stink because the pitching is atrocious. They tried to get behind all this weak, soft tossing, contact stuff that was not going to fly with the new rules, stolen bases, losing the shift, and et cetera, et cetera. So the Cardinals offense is still pretty good, even in a down wave. There's a lot of talent there. I'm going to be careful of it. And I think this is another one that's to me, it's over or nothing. Though, be careful with that one. This one's unique, and I think it's F5 over or nothing. Both of these bullpens have been excellent. Milwaukee bullpen, 1.7 ERA through 47 innings, 1 flat whip, 183 batting average allowed. St. Louis bullpen has corrected course since Helsley came back. 3.2 ERA through 45 innings. So that's not bad. So again, I don't really want to touch this one. Look for scoring early. If you don't get there, I don't think it's happening late. All right, next up. Gosh, you need to hurry. There's too many games, people. Next up, Tanner Houck and the Red Laundry from Boston on the bump is plus 150 dogs against Nate Eovaldi and the Texas Rangers. Eovaldi's really struggled since he came back. 7.7 ERA last 40 days. The reason I mentioned it because some people see sub 3 ERA, 109 whip. Oh my goodness. The thing with Houck, and I like Tanner Houck, his ERA creeping up near 5, 135 whip on the season. Again, I've mentioned this a few times. I hope it doesn't come off as broken record stuff, but guys that are not starters tend to burn out at the end of the year. And I think that's what we're getting from Houck. Boston put him in a position where he became an everyday starter. He's at 93 innings. He hasn't taken on a full load every 5 days. This one I do not want anything to do with. Running theme of the day is like over or nothing. But this one's even tough because the Boston offense has been so bad. 237, team BA, 670 OPS. Oh, gross. 291, WOBA 78, WRC plus. Texas offense starting to hit, which makes me scared of Houck. I like the F5, but again, I'm worried that Boston won't score. It's just another kind of disaster. We get into these situations with these it's injured pitchers trying to get in innings and teams that are like out of it, but not really. Boston's not out of it, but they're never allowed to tank. So they're going to be playing. I don't know, man. So just too many mixed signals for me. Again, the bullpens are a major disaster here. So that would probably lean itself to the over or nothing, I guess. Boston nearly 5 Sierra, over 1.5 whip last 55 innings. Texas with the 6 ERA, 1.5 whip, 265 BA allowed last 58 and 2/3. So really hard to back. Any of these guys are all really bad. It's just like, it's either good baseball or bad baseball right now. And I guess such is life in the big city. Next up, Blackbirds, Orange Vest, Baltimore Orioles, Kyle Gibson on the road, plus 125 dogs against Hunter Brown and the Astros. These games have been classic, man. Absolutely classics. Loving it. Gibson is really just a guy, and you're never going to get me off that. But, the Orioles have done very well as far as pitching development. And he's hard to fade. The ERA's been elevated last 40 days, but all the indicators are closer to 4 than anything less than 1 home run per 9 on the season. And that's always been the thing with Gibson because he's rocking the 49% ground ball rate, not to be outdone by Hunter Brown at 52. The reason I mentioned is that makes these games kind of hard to cap, right? All the ground balls. BABIP is a thing. Like, are they going to get through or are they going to turn into double plays? And that's kind of what you're getting right now. Baltimore offense up off the mat, looking really good as of late. Really probably a top 5 offense, top 5 in doubles, runs, average, zone contact, hard hit rate, double-digit barrel rate. So keep that in mind. 88 zone contact, 10% barrel. Really a tough team to attack. Last 500 PAs. Houston, same thing. 280 batting average, 875 OPS. 42 hard hit, 9% barrel, 371 team WOBA last 500. Again, really hard to kind of go after these guys. Both of the bullpens, which had been so good the entire year, also both struggling. So this one, too many scratches on the chin to go out. I guess I've been a little milquetoast today, a little non-committal. But again, when the analysis doesn't bring you there, do we want to start betting on nothing? I don't know. I'm scrolling through the algo. I do have, I got a Houston by a nose. And that's what this feels like. But we don't want to shortchange Baltimore. I think I like Gibson more at home than I do on the road. And I think I like Brown more at home than I do on the road. Man, I don't know. Minus 140 again. Maybe I would put them in the bin. But I don't think I could get aggressive with the juice. Brown struggled also. Let's move it on next. This is just like this is from bad to worse. I don't even know. Rub line or nothing. Colorado and Ryan Feltner on the road against Wakey, Eggs and Blakey. Cy Young favorite and the Padres. I mean, this is like the three-phase edge of three-phase edges. Feltner, through 35 1/3, has a nearly 6 ERA, 1.75 whip. Don't confuse those. 1.75 are really awful. +5 expected, +5.5 Sierra. Why? 15% walk rate. 5.5 ERA on the road. I mean, Rockies pitchers with 5.5 ERAs in a row is so bad. And Blake Snell's been awesome. 2.4 ERA, 1.2 whip. The strikeout rate over 31%. The walk rate over 13. I mentioned him before. Excuse me, for a reason. He'll walk guys, knowing he could strike out the next one. So be careful. It's not to say he has good control, right? You can't have that walk rate with bad control, but I think He knows how dirty he is around the edges, and he doesn't mind. Keeping on Snell has been unhittable at home also. 192 batting average allowed, 273 ERA, and a 1.7 ERA last 40 days. So this one is a landslide. Colorado offense terrible, 85 WRC plus, bottom 5 chase rate, 7% walk, only 10 home runs last 500. Padres offense is rolling, and if you have a feeling like if this season was another like month longer, we talking about them sneaking into the playoffs. 129 WRC plus, 354 team WOBA, 353 team OBP, 80 run score last 2 weeks. They're just humming right now. So you really don't want to mess with the Padres. Bring up the run line, okay? This is such a donkey play. This is like the most donkeyest move you can make, but that's what it is, man. If it's at minus 120 or better, I think we'll take the run line. If not, we'll probably what I think. I think I paired it with the Dodgers. I'm going, honk. But like, I mean, such is life. You know what I mean? Like, what are we supposed to not bet on things we think will win at the ideal price? Like, it's just kind of silly, right? Because somebody said it's a stupid play. So, Jay, I don't see up. But yeah, Padre run line, if it's at minus 120 or better, we'll just take that. I'm going to move on because we gotta hurry our arse. Ugh, the run line is at minus 1. Okay, the 125 we could get. If not, I would go money line and maybe add it to the Dodgers, which is just like going to go. We're the biggest donkeys ever. Or you could even go here. I mean, again, you could just add the next one and go with Seattle. You know, these teams are hot right now. It's just so ridiculous. How about such a donkey? I'm going to get fired. Luis Castillo on the bump. Oh, for the Mariners, 308 ERA, 104 whip. I mean, he's been excellent. He might get a Cy Young vote or two. He's been freaking excellent. 21 KBB, 33% ball, 64 for a strike, 35 O swing, 80% zone contact. I mean, Castillo's been unhittable. On the other side, Yar, Paulie, Blackburn the Pirate, 414 ERA, 1.5 whip, but all the indicators a little bit worse. I mean, the control we expected from him has kind of disappeared. 38% ball rate, just not any good. And when you combine it with the high ground ball rate, is 41. I expect it to generally be higher than they've turned into line drives, which is another issue on its own. With the walks, you're getting into BABIP stuff where you're going to get in trouble. Oakland offense is objectively bad right now, 84 WRC plus. I mean, Seattle offense not so great either, but they keep putting it in the air and they pull the ball a lot, so that's turned into production. They've also hit righties pretty well. I think Blackburn is in trouble. And then, of course, if this one's close late, we want to have the edge. Even though hashtag we hate bullpens, Seattle bullpen, I mean, objectively order of magnitudes better than Oakland. Oakland has a 5.3 Sierra last 59 innings, a 5.3 ERA last 636 innings on the year. I mentioned yesterday 39 losses on the season. So you can mix and match this however you like. You know, you can get Seattle plus the Padres. You can play both run lines if you don't mind eating a little bit of juice. But whatever. Just don't pay the juice on double money lines. That's the thing I'm not doing. Next up, I have a cross-off here. Alex Cobb and the Giants on the road against Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks. Love betting on Gallen. Love Gallen in general. But right now, the advantage is looking to the Giants. I can't get myself to bet on them. But again, I'm just have this as bad chalk. And I think, I hope this doesn't sound like a total cop-out. But I do believe it's true. That sometimes, right, we already know no bet's better than a bad bet. But I think identifying bad chalk's really important in sports betting. And staying away from those traps. Even putting them in parlays. We're like, what was I doing? The model numbers weren't there. The analysis wasn't there. The numbers just didn't back it. But we fall into the Jersey stuff. Or even, listen, a guy like Gallen's awesome. There's no question Zach Gallen is awesome. But you just got to be careful because Alex Cobb's really good too. You know, he's a ground ball machine. When he's healthy, he's excellent. And right now, the Giants are hitting 292 team batting average, 847 OPS, 17K to 10% swing strike. What's going on with the Giants right now? 26 line drive. These are all top three metrics. 365 wOBA, 133 WRC plus. Flip side to the Snakes, which shapes on their back. 675 team OPS, only 33 fly ball, 27 hard hit, 4% barrel. These are bottom 5 metrics. 86 WRC plus. So, I mean, that'll kill you. The Arizona bullpen's been very good with a 2 ERA last 2 weeks. Giants up near 5.5. But I'm afraid if you're chasing the juice and Gallen early, you're not going to get it. I actually think the sharp play is probably Cobb. Jay, do me a favor. Is the F5 total up? If it's 4.5, I'd even go under. If it's at 4, I'm going to leave it. But 4.5, I think I can get there. I have the under on the algo as well. It is 4.5. Let's hit that one. Let's go. Because again, if the thing I'm worried about is the Giants scoring off Gallon, I don't think it's going to happen. The way Arizona is hitting right now, they're not. I don't think they're going to be able to touch Cobb. Arizona offense has been just disgraceful, just really disgraceful. I mean, I don't know what happened. It just all disappeared at once for them. Couple of guys, not say flash in the pan, but like, Marte was crushing and Walker was crushing, Perdomo was crushing, guys had, or maybe a bit hit and miss. I really like Christian Walker. I shouldn't nail him. I think he's an excellent hitter. I think he's got a great approach. But a guy like Perdomo, maybe when he was the best hitter in baseball for a week, maybe we should have known that was going to go in the tank. They have not been great. But the disciplinary stuff for Arizona looking strong. The elevation basket is just terrible in the hard at 27 hard at 4% barrel. I mean, that's unbelievable. Next up, last one, it's Alex Fado on the bump plus 205 for the Tigres, leaving Detroit Rock City, heading over to Hollywood, always up to no good, to face the Trolley Dodgers and Ryan Pepio. This is the other big spread. So, I probably paired this one with San Diego, which is why I posted that one. So, Jay, I didn't see if you went run lines or whatever on that one. If you did go run line, you could put the other two meetings. So, I'm talking about San Diego, Seattle, and the Dodgers. I didn't see what you were doing. I was flying around through my spreadsheets. So if we didn't bet the money line or the run line on any of them, you could pair all three. If you bet the run line on one, you could pair the other two. If you bet the run line on both, put the run line on the third one. It looks to get 2 of 3. I mean, obviously we want to get 3 of 3, but I think we'll get 2 of 3. So Fado's been okay, right? Kind of just the guy stuff. I do like that he doesn't walk batters. He has kept batters off base. He gets ahead, right? So that's the stuff that we like. But he misses a ton and gives up a lot of fly balls. So if you're a fly ball pitcher that also misses center, you're going to be giving up home runs, and that's what we've seen. He's been good on the road, except for the home run rate, 2 home runs per 9. And again, it's just really hard to face the Dodgers. They're excellent. Top 3 offense of the season, top 5 offense the last 2 weeks. Tigers offense in particular versus righties is really bad. They're another one. The Tigers and the Yankees people, we just like to keep this stuff in the front of our mind. Very heavy to the lefty side. So 361 WOBA versus lefties last 30. 276 expected WOBA versus righties last 30. Wow. Just like the Yankees. So Tigers versus righties are going to get mowed down. And then you get into the bullpen. The Tigers bullpen's been good. Dodgers bullpen as well. Again, Sirens agree. I have not gone for run lines when I get strong bullpen stats, right? That's where we like to look for our covers to get them late. So I do like the Dodgers money line as part of a pair. So I would go Dodgers and Padres, Dodgers and Mariners. Any 2 of those 3 or 3 of those 3. But I'd probably avoid the run line on the Dodgers because the Tigers have been so good. And just in case Fado gets a little bit of luck through 5, I don't want to get into a dogfight. We thought Erod was going to not say handle the Dodgers. I just thought a plus money would get in the run through 5 would be okay, and he ended up getting rocked. Surprise, surprise, Dodgers are really good. All right, let's get out of here, everybody. That'll do it. Fastest show in MLB. Absolutely freaking anywhere, yo. Who does it? Just a metric ton of information every day. Analysis, application, hopefully a joke or 2. Bad wrestling reference, at least 1 a day, hopefully. Jay is doing the quick saunter through today's plays. Okay, I'm seeing the run line for, okay, we ended up on all 3 of them. That's okay. Because I really think we get him. Again, we're in that part of the season. Also, if we're back next year, if you'd like us back, rate, review, and subscribe. Leave a comment for the podcast stuff. You want to talk about like a big help. If this show was a big help to you and you want to be a big help to us, good God, those 5-star reviews are everything, And again, tag us, rate us, review us, subscribe us. Stupid stuff that I hate to ask for. Hitting bells, hitting thumbs. And let's get the hell out of here, Jay. Thank you for picking up what we're putting down here at Call to the Pain HQ. Single-digit regular season episodes left. Can you believe it? We didn't miss a single one, baby. So proud of the work ethic. Jay, hat tip to you too, my friend. Let's get out of here. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the day. When you're done with the book, enjoy the pay. Hit me up any time of day, any day of the week with your questions. We're here for you on X at Call to the Pain HQ and at John Laghezza. And remember, when you're working this hard, it feels a lot less like luck. Yeah. Peace out.